amended, all interim management committees of local government councils are to cease operations and henceforth dissolved by Tuesday, 24th April 2013. The Minister of Regional Government and by extension the Government of the Gambia wish to thank all those distinguished persons who served as members or chairpersons of interim management committees for the invaluable services rendered. We'll take our first break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now to the international news. The U.S. city of Boston is healing after the dramatic events of the last 7 days as investigators learn more about how and why the attack on the Boston Marathon unfolded. The lone surviving suspect of the attacks is in hospital. 19-year Zoka Zavinaev was captured Friday night after a massive manhunt. Zanaev has a gunshot wound to his neck and is unable to speak. It is unclear if he was hit during his capture or in an earlier shooting with police. That gun battle left his older brother dead. Acquaintances say the 26-year Tamerlan Zanaev may have been the leader. Investigators believe that he became further radicalized on a 6-month trip to Russia last year. And now some U.S. lawmakers accuse the FBI of dropping the ball. CNN's Emily Smith reports from Washington.
The Boston bombing suspects. Did the FBI do enough to learn about one brother, and now who questions the younger brother?
This man, in my view, should be designated as a potential enemy combatant, and we should be allowed to question him for intelligence gathering purposes to find out about future attacks and terrorist organizations that may exist that he has knowledge of.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says the enemy combatant designation would allow investigators to question Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, a U.S. citizen, without a lawyer, acknowledging that none of that information could be used against him in a criminal court. Democrat Dianne Feinstein argues questioning can happen for a limited time before Miranda rights are read, without calling Tsarnaev an enemy combatant, under what's called the public safety exception. It lets investigators question a suspect about any imminent threat.
I'm not really worried about whether they can be convicted. The question is, what else would they have been up to? Who are their associates? How did he become radicalized? Is there a Chechnya connection? And that's what has to be discovered.
There's also debate about Tamerlan Tsarnaev, shot dead during the manhunt. The FBI interviewed him in 2011 at the request of Russia, then dropped the matter after asking for more specific information from Russia. The FBI says it never received.
Why is this FBI interview important? Because if he was on the radar and they let him go, he's on the Russians' radar, and why wasn't a flag put on him, some sort of customs flag?
House Homeland Security Chairman Michael McCall says he and fellow Republican Peter King want answers from the FBI. Democrats have questions, too.
Why wasn't he interviewed when he came back, either at the airport when he was returning or later? And what happened in Chechnya?
Massachusetts doesn't have the death penalty, but the federal government does. Senators Chuck Schumer and Dianne Feinstein, both Democrats, said Sunday they think the death penalty would be appropriate under federal law in this case. Emily Schmidt, CNN, Washington.
A desperate search for survivors is underway in southwest China, where a powerful earthquake struck Sichuan province on Saturday. Efforts have been hampered by continuous aftershocks, and according to state media, at least 188 people have been killed and more than 11,000 injured. Meantime, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang traveled to the disaster zone Saturday. He visited a local hospital to comfort the injured. That region of China is prone to earthquakes, and whilst the damage this time around is not as severe, getting aid to survivors once again proving to be a major challenge. CNN's David Mackenzie has more.
At the epicenter of this earthquake, it's still dangerous. A soldier badly injured by debris. Waves more move into this remote corner of Sichuan province to help, where the quake flattened homes and hopes. This two-story house was completely destroyed. This quake happened early in the morning. People were going to work or to their fields, caught completely unawares. Now, houses like this two-story structure, you see these cracks down the side, so people are too afraid to sleep in them, so they're staying outside. Some people left so quickly that they left their animals tied up outside. I was cooking breakfast, says Xiao Qiong. My son Gao Yun was playing over there when it struck. All of a sudden, the house started swaying back and forth, she says, swaying back and forth. All she could do is grab her son and run. But her uncle was crushed to death next door. We need everything. We haven't had a proper meal or drank good water since the quake, says 49-year-old Lu Hongying. She was leaving the house when it started to shake. I was just so frightened, she says. I couldn't think straight. I just wanted to save my family inside. But her father-in-law didn't make it.
This moment, the people, they need water. They need a very quick food, because even for some noodle, it's still lack of. And I think they need a tank, immediately people can live in. So you can see people here. I think we need to very quickly make action.
Action is needed for the thousands of injured treated in makeshift clinics, and for the homeless. Just finding a place to eat and to sleep is a new reality. David Mackenzie, CNN, Sichuan, China.
We'll now take our second break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and we'll now have the sports news with Fatou Jassi. Fatou.
Thank you, Sise. Liverpool Football Club scored a dramatic late winner against Chelsea FC at Anfield. Premier League top scorer Luis Suarez netted in the 97-minute to rescue a point for the Reds after the Blues twice took the lead through Brazilian midfield wizard Oscar Eden Hazard. More than 45,000 fans watched the game at Anfield, and a privileged number of LFC fans in the Gambia also had the chance to view the clash of the two giants at a plush hotel, courtesy of Standard Chartered Bank. Ababakar Senghor joined them, and he tells us more.
Afternoon on Merseyside. Liverpool Football Club welcomes to the home of this proud club the man who led the team to its 5th European Cup, and the team he now currently manages as interim coach. Thousands of miles away from Anfield and in the serene confines of the Plus Sheraton International Hotel, Liverpool's biggest sponsor, Standard Chartered Bank, rolled out its latest annual LFC match viewing. And what a game for the many Liverpool fans in the Gambia. A Chelsea team boasting in their ranks, one-time darling of the cup, Fernando Torres. The Spaniard, now the Chelsea Baby, arrived at Anfield leading the attack for Rafa Benitez, the man who introduced him to the English game. A packed hall watched as Chelsea drew first blood in the latest installment of the fierce rivalry between the two clubs. Little Brazilian midfielder Oscar giving the Blues a first half lead through a header. As ardent fans enjoy halftime snacks courtesy of Standard Chartered Bank, back at Anfield, Liverpool boss Brendan Rodgers made a significant change which swung the tide in Liverpool's favour. Shortly after his introduction, Daniel Sturridge capped off a flowing Liverpool move to score against his old club. Anfield erupted and celebrated that equaliser, and so did the whole. Chelsea then took the lead again. The impressive Eden Hazard drilling home from 12 yards after Luis Suarez handled in the box. With the